If you've always wanted to try your hand at drifting but not having a handbrake has been holding you back, I have good news from within. You can learn how to drift in Assetto Corsa without a handbrake. This recording was taken at the 10-hour mark of my journey, and as you can see, it's not going too bad. But what was the journey like at the beginning, and how did I end up here? Let's go back to hour 1. Where I recommend everybody to start is where I started. I spent my first 4 hours on drift. Like the name suggests, it's a track for drifting, and probably the best track to develop basic skills like throttle control. It comes with Assetto Corsa, so no mods necessary for the console crowd out there. It's a good starter track due to the width, allowing for tons of error and recovery. It has very little grass and endless lines to choose from. It's also where I spent an equal amount of time testing out different drift cars, basically trying to find something that I can handle. For me, the sweet spot was anywhere between 400 to 500 horsepower. In combination with knocking back the gear ratio so that second gear tops out at like 118 kilometers, a little pro tip I picked up while watching a couple pro YouTubers way back when that kind of always stuck with me. I'm not sure why, but it has. Once I was satisfied with my vehicle, I practiced the basics. Controlled donuts, figure eights, learning how to transition from one direction to the other. And then I tried long sustained drifts, and that was proving difficult at first, but eventually I figured it out. After a couple hours of practice, you might find yourself doing a lot of the things that you can do and very little of the things that you can't do. That's normal, but it's also a really easy trap to fall into. If you find yourself in this cycle, I recommend switching up the track like I did. Feeling confident in my throttle control, I decided it was time to move on to a more focused track with less margins for error and a bit more skill to complete. For this task, I chose Owara Circuit. Owara is said to be a good beginner track, and you should be able to complete an entire lap in second gear without downshifting at all, with the use of a handbrake. Challenge accepted. I started off by learning the track in first gear. It gave me a good sense of where the track banks, rolls, and pitches were. These features often translate poorly on a flat screen, and can often catch you by surprise. I find first gear helps emphasize some of those features, making them more predictable and easier to handle when drifting in higher gears. Once I was able to connect a couple of laps without spinning out, I started attacking the corners in second gear. It was rough at first. I had to rely heavily on clutch kicking to keep my RPMs up, and even still I was barely faking through it. A couple of hours later, around the 8-hour mark of total seat time, I started connecting my corners, all except the last hairpin. Attacking the corners in second gear meant that I was coming in with more speed. Manageable for most turns, but the hairpins, I was stumped. It was time to start trying new things, and lo and behold, the technique I used to attack the hairpin wasn't new at all, but rather a combination of the foundational skills that I had already been working on for the past 10 hours. There was also one key component that completely changed everything for me. the use of the foot brake. In my early hours of training, I avoided the foot brake like a pariah because I never carried enough speed to avoid stalling the car. Every time I tapped the brake, boom, the car would stall. But being 10 hours into this experience, I've developed as a driver, and I have a much better sense of how to use my pedals. So hitting the foot brake fast and hard, followed by a quick clutch kick, while feathering the throttle, that was my ticket around the hairpin. But like anything cool done on purpose, you gotta do two to make it true. So for the sake of the title of the video, I would have to do 2 clean laps around a Wara circuit to prove that you can indeed learn how to drift in Assetto Corsa without a handbrake. And just as I was approaching the bottom of the 10th hour of total seat time, I connected 2 clean enough laps in second gear without downshifting. My technique was far from good, but good enough from far, far away. I'm actually glad I went through this initial process without a handbrake. Don't get it twisted though, I still really want to get a handbrake. It'll undoubtedly elevate my technique in the future to come. But this experience really drove deep the importance of throttle control and laid down what I feel is a solid foundation to build upon. I encourage anybody watching this who has let the absence of certain equipment hold them back from trying out new things. I didn't go into this thinking that it would be impossible, but I also knew it would be anything but easy, which is actually why I did it in the first place. It's always worth doing what is hard, not what is expedient. But I digress. I want to thank everybody for watching. Your time is a valuable currency, so I appreciate every moment of it. I had a ton of fun making this video, and I'm looking forward to making more essay-style experiences on the track. If you like this sort of stuff, maybe drop a like, leave a comment, and let me know how I'm doing. And as always, everybody, stay safe, keep joyriding.